Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 29th. It's just past 10 a.m. and we are going live. We've had a beautiful week here in Phoenix, and we're just going to bring you up to speed on everything you might need to know. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about moving or relocating and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in our good friend and partner, Rudy Lopez with Prime Lending. Rudy, good morning. How are you, sir?
Greg, good morning. I'm wearing my thermal and vest, totally unnecessary because it's really not that cold outside. But the last few days, it was actually pretty cold, and I'm just so excited. I had to dig these out of my closet. I almost didn't even know I had them anymore.
I mean, I'm wearing a longer sleeve shirt. This is the first time on this channel that I've ever worn a long sleeve shirt. We're making news. And it's not that cold out. Like I worked out this morning, and I just went out in my shorts and like workout gear, walking the dogs when I got home at 6 a.m. And it was chilly. There was people walking by and like looking at me, laughing at me because I was not really dressed warm. People had like multiple layers on. And I was like, it's kind of cold, but I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go. But hey, I decided to throw on a long sleeve shirt to celebrate the last 3 days of amazing weather.
Absolutely. When you say it's kind of cold, that means that you need to wear a long sleeve shirt, maybe a turtleneck. Like here, you go all out when it's kind of cold.
Yeah, I still wore sandals too. I mean, I don't care. But my feet, my hands were a little chilly. You have to put your hands in your pockets, and that's cold here in Arizona. But now the next few days we've got the high 80s lined up again, so it's going to warm back up. But it's still like cool evenings and mornings are still going to be like a high 50s, low 60s. So I'll take that. That's all good. But
yeah, we're gonna dust off our fire pit out on the front of our house and maybe sit out there a couple nights and just enjoy the nice, cool evening. So yeah, it's a great time. I sound like a broken record, but this is what we're here for. So
Absolutely. This is the time that people enjoy the most. I know. Again, like, I have no idea what's going to happen for Halloween this weekend. I don't know what people are doing. I know people, I look around my neighborhood and there's people that have been having little block parties and kind of shutting it off and just kind of saying, hey, we're going to go outside, mix and mingle with the neighbors and kind of let the kids do their thing, maybe do like a little, candy thing prior to Halloween. I have no idea whether or not we're going to have trick-or-treaters on Halloween. Like, I don't even know anybody talking about it. I'm sure they'll be out and about.
Right.
So I guess we'll be prepared just in case, but yeah, it's interesting. We my family and I went to a little pumpkin patch up in North Scottsdale, like the McDonald's family farm up in Old McDonald really does have a farm, and it's up in Scottsdale, and it was cool. It was a kind of a cool little experience outside. There was lots of little games and fun stuff. They had like not only the pumpkin patch, but they had also like a petting zoo and some games and live music and like food trucks and stuff like that. It was a neat little setup.
Yeah, it's nice to see that the world here, at least in Scottsdale, we're slowly starting to see a little bit more people come out to the parks, to pumpkin patches. Everyone's still being very careful, obviously, but it's nice to see that stuff. And everyone's starting to get into the spirit of the holidays as best as possible with how our world is currently operating.
Yeah, and I mean the good news about being in those type of places is that you're outside and you're not jam packed. I mean, it was a good crowd there. The weather was awesome, and so the crowd was great. But you can still social distance. If you're in tight groups, you still have people wearing masks to be cautious. And but for the most part, you can enjoy yourself and just use common sense, I guess. I don't know. Does that still exist? But if it does, I don't know if I have any of it. But you just use your best judgment and do what you can.
Well, I'll tell you what, November 1st is one of my favorite days of the year because Halloween Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are on sale for like 50 cents a pop, and I stock up. I go all out with the November 1st Halloween Reese's Peanut Cup.
Yeah, I mean, we've never talked about this, but no wonder we get along because those are my favorite as well. And
yes, sir.
I actually don't stock. You can still probably get away with it because you're younger than me, but I would eat too many, and that would put on the extra pounds that I already need to shed. So yeah, I'll let you do that. I'll try to stay away because I'll eat too many.
Yeah, those are a staple in my house from November 1st till they're gone, which is usually not soon after that. So. Yeah,
I'll allow myself to split. That's the bad thing about getting all the Halloween candy to pass out is you tend to pick a little here and there and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so everybody, hopefully everybody's having something going on for Halloween, whether you have kids or you don't have kids. There's usually some kind of fun things going on. And if you're not into Halloween at all, yeah, good for you too. I mean, it's all good. But we usually try to enjoy it one way or the other, usually getting together with friends or doing something. And our little one, she'll probably dress up a little bit. And are you going to be dressing up your littles?
Yeah, she's really into cats right now, and whenever she sees a cat, she'll start meowing. And so now she's going to be a cat tomorrow. At her school, they're going to have a little Halloween party. They've got them rehearsing a song and dancing to this Halloween song, which is like the cutest thing ever. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice.
She's going to have the best day of her life tomorrow. It seems like.
I love it. All good, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's we'll talk about. I'm sure people would love to hear us talk about Halloween and our little ones all day, but we'll talk about things that people might need to know. What's going on market wise. With everybody, like, we're in such a strange time as we've said multiple times over and over again. It's been a crazy year. Now people are trying to speculate like what's going to happen since we're in such a hot market now. What does that mean for next year? Are we gonna fall off a mountain? And and there's plenty of reason to believe that could be the case. I'm going to bring up something that because I follow a lot of different news and media outlets, but I want to bring up something real quick here. This is kind of a weekly financial focus that I see, and where'd it go? So one of the things that we're constantly seeing, and I'm going to focus on this long-term unemployment and the number of Americans permanently unemployed 26 weeks or more jumped to 2.4 million in September. And then those unemployed more than 15 weeks total 7.5 million. And then it says, without further aid, this will have devastating effects on individuals and weaken the economy. And it's hard to not believe that. I think. Sorry, I'm trying to get back. This brings up all sorts of different things here. I'm trying to get back to the screen. I mean, we've been talking about this a couple weeks ago as far as thinking about the stimulus package and Congress not, passing stimulus. There are plenty of people out there that are struggling and having a tough time. That is going to have an effect on us as a country somehow, and it's going to have, obviously lasting challenges for a lot of families. I know, we're hoping and praying that they would figure out a way to figure out some sort of stimulus to help some of these families and business owners. I mean, there's so many people that this year has been disastrous for a lot of people, unfortunately. It has been good to some people, and it has been really bad to others. So we're seeing that, and then we'll talk about that a little bit, and then I'll bring up some potentially good news for people moving to Arizona. But what are you seeing numbers-wise, and kind of what are you hearing, Rudy, on your end when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Well, it looked like last week there was some positive and upbeat news that there would be an agreement on stimulus from both sides of both parties, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen. And now the talks are that after the election is when they'll resume stimulus talks. So I agree with you in the fact that We need it, and it's something that needs to be obviously agreed upon sooner rather than later. Really disappointing to hear that it's just something that's been that's just been kicked down the road a little bit in that regard. But hopefully after the election, they can both come together again and decide on some sort of stimulus. But going into 2021, it's going to be a big year, not only because of new or possibly existing president being in the office, but with rates being low and market continuing to appreciate, in my opinion, affordability is going to be a big topic. Since we're talking about real estate, affordability is going to be a big topic to discuss, because the more and more prices are going up. Phoenix, year over year, prices have gone up almost 10% from this time last year. So the more and more that happens, the less and less people are able to afford homes, which will obviously compound the effect that we've been talking about with the stimulus and homes being more expensive. It's just going to be a snowball effect for our economy in the future. So it's something to look out for.
Yeah, and I think, for people, and I'm in the same boat as far as potentially looking for another property and trying to guess. It's like, okay, do you buy now while the market's hot, knowing that there could be some underlying conditions that could cause a negative effect on the market next year? And I think a lot of people are wary of that, just because a lot of us went through the last crash, and it's like, okay, well, it's not going to be the same as that, but there still could be something that could be better, worse. I don't know. Like, we just don't know. And so you're just in the back of your mind, you're always trying to make the best judgment on how to do that. So if we do have this situation where, let's say, stimulus doesn't get passed, and then we have people who, they're not protected on their forbearance on their homes, and so some people start going into foreclosure. That, and this is a speculative situation as far as, because even if that happens, like, you're 6 to 12 months out of seeing this type of inventory, and maybe this doesn't even affect us until 2022. But it's still something that people are trying to decide. But I wanted to bring something else up, because the one thing that, when I think through all this, you hear about all that, but then you think about all the migration of people to Arizona. So I'll bring up another kind of document that kind of shares this today, talking about what's going on with migration. So you're seeing home values drop in some of these really expensive markets like San Francisco and Manhattan. These are also areas that are highly populated, where people are looking to get out of their current expensive situation, and they're also trying to get away from how many people are around them to try to be in a safer situation. People are going remotely. So you see this, America, remote workers in the U.S. quadrupled to almost 50% of the workforce. That's insane, but makes total sense with what's happening this year. The interest rates, obviously, we talk about that, and this has a average low 30-year fix of 2.86 per Freddie Mac. That's obviously driving a lot of situations. Inventory's down. It talks about the most undersupplied states. This is crazy that Arizona's not on this list, but Oregon, Colorado, Florida, and California. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. Let's look at case by case and region. So on the west, you got everybody moving to Arizona and Idaho. Outbound, people are leaving California in droves. Some of the more expensive areas, if they're staying, they're just moving to kind of the outskirt cities. So again, I think this is interesting because, even if we have a challenge of inventory kind of growing, and we have a situation where people start going into foreclosure, we have so many people moving in here, and whether you think that's good or bad, we could go on that every day. But from a situation of buying and knowing that your money is going to be solid and you're not going to be losing money, I feel like these numbers kind of at least give you some confidence there.
Yeah, and a couple of strategies, so what all that stuff means as it relates to real estate, a couple of strategies that our team have been implementing is, if you currently own a home and it's maybe not your forever home, and you've got enough equity built into it to apply it to another home, then we run different analysis models and strategies for you to determine if putting all your equity is a good choice, or maybe putting some of that equity and using the remainder for maybe paying off or consolidating debt, or possibly to invest it and earn a higher rate of return long term. So there's a lot of different strategies for you. If you are sitting in a situation where you've built up a lot of equity, you want to maybe use that equity and towards another home that is going to suit your needs a little bit better. Or even if you're currently renting and you're looking to buy a home and you're exploring different down payment options, we do all that for you so that you can make the best decision for you and your family's not only short, but obviously long-term future. So there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat when it comes to buying a home and making a smart financial decision.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's so many things that I mean, we've had this conversation just between the two of us as well, is like things that you haven't really thought about. You're like, okay, that could be a smart decision that we've never considered, that allows us to have a few more opportunities that we didn't consider before. So definitely worth having that, because I'm sure, again, people are constantly getting hit by all sorts of opinions out there. And I apologize, I've got our little ones home today, but so you might hear a little crying in the background. But yeah, there's so many opinions that people are getting constantly on like what's the best way. So totally understand if people get overwhelmed with that, but you also still want to, try to talk to the right people that can guide you in the right direction, because just these little changes and little things you can do can make a huge difference on what your financial situation looks like in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and a lot of my clients, we start off by them saying, well, I just want to lower my payment, or I just want to lower my interest rate. And then that's a good place to start. However, have you thought about maybe shortening the term? You're currently at a 30-year. You bought it a couple years ago. You owe, you have 8 years left. Maybe let's look at a 25 or 20-year, or maybe let's look at you investing the difference of your savings into something else that is going to help build your wealth. I just recently helped a family that went from a 30-year to a 25. They just bought their home about a year and a half ago. Yeah. They went from a 30 to a 25, and their payment dropped. Even then, it dropped. And the $150 a month that they're using, or that they're saving, they're going to put it aside each and every month for their kids' college account.
Fund,
so,
yeah.
Their college fund. So monthly wise, they didn't miss a beat. They didn't increase their monthly spend. They were comfortable with the original monthly spend, but now they're saving for their college, for their kids' college tuition. Yeah. So a win-win.
Absolutely.
For the.
And it's stuff that like doesn't feel good because you don't really feel it too much right now. And then all of a sudden, 10, 15 years later, when you start looking at that account and you're like, wow, that made such a big difference. And it doesn't seem that big at the time until you look at it, later on. I know I've made that mistake. Those are the things that I'm like, I wish I could go back and change a few things when I was younger so I could, just have a little bit more knowledge and bite the bullet a little bit on certain things that didn't feel 100% comfortable or didn't seem like it was too big of a deal. And then you look back on it now and you're like, wow, that would have been such a big difference maker today.
Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of the times you don't even know that you could have maybe chosen another option that would have made a greater impact on your future than the one you chose. So, without those options, you're going about your day, you're going through the years, making your payments, living in the home, and you have no clue that maybe there was something better out there for you. So that's where Greg and I are there for you to help you with those decisions.
And time flies quick, man. It's insane. And like all of a sudden you put stuff off, and you're like, nah, I'll get to it. And then it's like 10 years later and you're like, I never got to it.
Yeah, and I also think that your mentality or the way you approach owning a home can sometimes be skewed, in my opinion, simply because it's not just a roof over your head. It's a financial decision that you're making, and whether it's a good or a bad one, you're making a financial decision. Yeah. And so that's where we come into play to help you with that, to make sure that you are exploring all your options. I met a guy recently who said, I don't care I don't really care about my home. I just want a roof over my head, and I just want a payment that I'm comfortable with. And I respect that opinion. However, if there was a way for you to have that roof over your head and have that monthly payment, and also plan for your family's future, wouldn't that be a little bit of a better financial decision?
For sure.
So that's kind of the way we approach it.
Yeah, and I hope people appreciate that. I know I've been in situations, trust me, that where it's like, hey, look, I only have a certain amount of brain power to take in like decision making. And I need to cover this aspect first before I get into even deeper levels. And so sometimes it's just a comfort level of managing like how many things can you take in as far as important decisions in your life at a time, because we're all dealing with so many things on a daily basis that constantly take up space in our minds that stress us out or so there's a certain amount of like, okay, I've hit my full on things that I can make a decision on, and the rest I'll have to like make a decision later on. But so I've been there. I get it. It's hard, but I appreciate it, especially like people like you in your situation where you're like, hey, look, I know this might not be fun to think about right now, but if you do, we can help you solidify like so much so much more positive position later on, and we need that from people who want to help guide us in the right direction, to have us maybe stop and be like, okay, if I go through the pain of just putting myself through this right now, it's going to be so much better in the future.
Yeah, and I think for me personally, having kids, it forces me to think that way. I've always, not always is kind of a very generic word, but I usually think about that kind of stuff even before kids, that, every dollar I spend or that I save has an impact on my future. And now that I have kids, that responsibility has really hit me hard.
Yeah.
And I like to help other people that might be in the same situation, or maybe planning for a family in the future, or maybe they're currently renting and they're not really sure what the true benefit of owning a home is. And it's just great to see individuals and families like really flourish because of their financial decisions as it relates to a home.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I mean, me being the late bloomer as a parent, I was probably pretty selfish for a long period of time, and just maybe didn't think in the most productive ways, and but then once you have a little one, because your entire life ends up with the focus on them, and like how can we create a better life for them, and then all of a sudden things in your head wheels start turning, and you start thinking differently. And it's a great thing. It can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but it's a great thing for sure.
Well, yeah, for me, right when I got to college, I remember the first few years after that, where I would do my taxes, and I would see that obviously I was working, and then I noticed my bank account, I had nothing to show for my hard work. And that was where I really started paying closer attention as to what decisions I was making. I was 22, 23, 24, so I really wasn't thinking about anything other than just make money, spend money on a weekly, monthly basis. And it's just normal, and it's something that we all go through. And if we can help someone with those decisions, that just makes it even better, makes it sweeter.
100%. Well, cool, man. Any kind of things in whether it's the financial markets, whether the real estate market, or just like anything fun going on in Arizona that you want to share right now? I don't have like anything crazy. We go over like market stuff all the time, and I always want to share that with people who are interested, especially for people who are coming in. But anything that you want to talk about, we got open time.
Well, no, I just it's been really fun talking to folks that are looking to move here from other states, or even just folks that are just evaluating their current situation. They currently own a home, and maybe they're exploring purchasing something better, or maybe they just want to refinance because they're living in the home of their dreams. So it's just been really fun talking to people and about their goals, and about how to put those goals into place. And the weather, like I said, is getting better, and we've got Halloween coming up in November 1st. I'm going to just buy all those Reese's peanut butter cups. Man, life is good. Life is good right now.
It's crazy because, It feels like we were just in triple digits like a week or two ago, and now we're gonna, like, Halloween's gonna come and go this weekend, and we're gonna have Thanksgiving coming up, which will be here in no time. And that's, I mean, who knows how, everybody's probably gonna dial down, I guess, probably their gatherings this year. It's not gonna be as crowded as usual. Which maybe for some of us is good,
Right.
You can leave a few of the family members that you don't get along with out, and be like, hey, we're just trying to be safe this year.
COVID, man, COVID. Yeah, you can't come up with COVID.
It's not that I don't like you. It's just because of COVID. We're trying to keep you safe.
Yeah, we'll schedule a Zoom call and just never show up.
Right. We'll have a Zoom Thanksgiving.
I got to go.
Yeah. So yeah, it should be, and then obviously with all the holidays, Christmas and everything, and so whatever everybody's celebrating, everybody's got different stuff going on, but it's nuts. It's crazy that we're gonna be getting into 2021 next year. I'm super stoked. I mean, one of the best things about getting into November for this year and being done with it is no more political ads and signs and all that garbage. I'm done with that for sure. I think most of us have been done with it for probably before it even started. And so that'll be good, even though I'm sure there'll be some other chaos that, I don't know. It's nonstop chaos all the time, but, we'll see.
Well, this time next week, we'll either have a new president or a current president. So, we'll probably talk what's happened ever since the election on Tuesday till Thursday. Just see maybe what's happening with rates, the stock market, and just kind of give a little bit of an update on that. So that should be an interesting time.
Yeah, and I hope no matter where anybody leans, I hope that nobody. I mean, there are a lot of people that will freak out one way or the other and think that the world's coming to an end, and just don't fall into that. It's not helpful. Obviously, the best way is just keep focusing on you and your family and your loved ones, and plugging away. Do the things that are best for your family. Obviously, we all care about those around us. We care about people being in a good situation. So I think that's where people go out and vote, and they do the best they can based on what they believe to think is going to be the best for not only themselves but their loved ones and their community. I don't necessarily know who's right or wrong. I think they all have their flaws, but just don't fall into the trap of the world's coming to an end if the person that you chose does not win. But we'll figure it out. I think the best thing for all of us is just stay tight with your family and friends. There's plenty of people I disagree with that I absolutely love, and I have fun conversations with them talking about it. But just don't freak out. I don't know. That's my soapbox talk for the day. But we've just been such a crazy. I mean, between COVID and all the political garbage, it's just it just seems like everybody's kind of. I don't know. We need to get a little closer together. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to watch the news without getting caught up in all the. Here we go again with the word craziness and just all the negative stuff. So you're right, man. Especially this time of the year with the holidays coming up, and it's a time to be with family and remembering your loved ones. So I think you're absolutely spot on with that.
Yep. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll try to lead by example, Rudy, and maybe one or two other people will follow along in our footsteps.
That's right, man. Let's start a little trend here from now until the end of the year. Let's do it.
I like it. We'll have to come up with some hashtag, even though I don't do hashtags. I don't know. Right. We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll take off the hashtag and just kind of come up with some sort of slogan for the show. But all good. All right, brother. Well, I'll let you go. For those of you who are watching, maybe didn't throw out a question, we appreciate you watching. We love questions when you guys jump in and have something you want to comment on or say. Love that. If you missed us live and have questions or comments, feel free to definitely shoot those over to us. We love hearing from you. We love hearing about your situation. We love hearing about whether you agree, disagree with us, what's going on. It's always good to get some feedback. So please reach out to us anytime. And then for those of you who are considering a move and are thinking about moving to the Phoenix area or even Flagstaff, since now I can do that, reach out to us. We're here for you. We'll do our best based on what we know to guide you in the right direction, and hopefully help put you in a situation that is good for you. So, any other parting things, Rudy, on your end?
No, I think you covered them all, Greg.
Perfect. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you joining me as always, and everybody have a happy and safe Halloween. We'll see you next week in November. Crazy. All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, man. You too.